What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of Real Estate Agent Rehab. My name is Amir Al-Kayat. I'm the broker and owner of West Shores Realty, and
my name is Vance Mizzi. I am the Vice President of Agency Development here at West Shores Realty.
And our second episode today is for all of our new agents out there. So if you're brand new and you need to know what to do, watch this video. You're going to learn a lot about all the little intricacies of what you may need to do and the processes you may need to take as a brand new agent to get your real estate career started.
As you come into the business, the first thing you need to understand is that you run your business like a business, and like any good business, they have a checklist and a kind of step-by-step process to get into the business. And we developed one here for West Shores Realty, and it's basically just a overview of what any agent coming into any brokerage, any agency, any state, any city should really be looking at and going over and making sure that they have everything in order. Because the last thing you ever want to be asked on an appointment or when you meet a client is how long you've been in this business. And when you have your checklist filled out, you have everything set up straight, and you know what you have in your kind of bag of tricks, nobody's ever going to ask you that. They're going to ask you, where do I sign? So hopefully by the end of this checklist that we go over today, your clients, your friends, your family, the people that you meet every day start asking you that same question. Where do I sign? Not how long you've been in this business.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think it's all about preparation and, you know, what we do when we're new. And you know, there's not a lot of information out there on this, but, you know, let's just say, for example, you finished your exam, you've passed your license, you're ready to figure out, you know, how am I going to start selling real estate? And like, obviously the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick a brokerage. There are so many different options for brokerages, and I'm not here to plug my brokerage whatsoever. You need to decide for you what's going to work best for you and your schedule. But at least you have to ensure that wherever you're going to join is going to have some sort of training, some sort of coaching or mentoring, to where as a new agent you're going to get attention. Because the last thing you want to do is start writing up contracts and not understand the rules, the laws, how to market, how to obviously represent your client in the correct manner to ensure that your transaction goes smoothly, right?
That's right. There's an art to this business. There's an art to creating every deal that we do. And there's honestly, there's an approach and an art to actually just getting your business cards straight and your profiles and everything. So we're going to go over that line by line with you and really give you an outline that moving forward, you're going to be able to kind of step through this. And at the end, if you like what you hear and you want the actual checklist, you can, in the comments below, just drop us your email, drop us a note saying, hey, please send me this checklist, and we'll make sure that our AV guy gets it out to you. Shout out to Shane. Okay,
Thanks, AV
he'll
guy.
get it out to you in the next couple days, where it's a 2-page checklist that you can sit down and if you're a broker and you're watching, you want that. If you're an agent and you're watching, you want this. Okay, so let's kind of dig right into it and start talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, you pass the licensing exam, you're looking at different brokerages, you're obviously going to select one with a training, a coaching, a mentorship program. You want to ensure that the classes that they offer are scheduled on times that you can make it. And most people passing the exam are going to be a part-time agent. When you say, like, you've got another gig, you're doing this on the side. So if you're working a 9 to 5, you want to ensure that there's evening classes where you can go get some help, get some attention, and understand the basics of doing a transaction. I know when I first started, I was a part-timer too, and I went to a brokerage that only had day classes, and I couldn't go to any classes. So the only time I could go to the brokerage was at night, and I had to figure out a lot of stuff on my own, which is not recommended whatsoever, but you know, it's something that I had to go through. But I wish I had joined a brokerage that had evening classes to where I could go after work and transition my career into a full-time real estate career, and starting with working at night.
And to piggyback on that, even, you know, again, I'm not plugging my brokerage. I'm not plugging the brokerage. But something that we found that works very well for us and our training of agents is all of our trainings go live on Facebook and are replayable. All right. We also have a backlog website that agents can go to and find all these past trainings. So if you need training in writing contracts or something like that, you can go to it. And in today's world, your brokerages, the brokerages that you're working with and for, should be technologically advanced.
Yeah, definitely.
That offer you that. Right?
Yeah, you want to ensure that there's tools necessary to help you be successful. I think 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
'cause this is a 24-hour business.
But that said, if you can make it to a live class, nothing will ever substitute for sitting in a classroom in front of an instructor, learning face to face, just like working with your clients. Okay, nothing will ever change a dynamic more than being belly to belly, face to face with your clients. You can text, email, video, phone, whatever you want to do. Until you're sitting in the same room with them, it's not the same. So just keep that in mind if you're going to do any online
Not
classes.
to mention like the relationships that you meet, the new associations you make, obviously the relationship that you can build with the instructor or the mentor, whoever you're working with there, are going to be critical in these early months. So you want to ensure that you're exchanging phone numbers, you're building relationships, and you can meet people and call people when there's an issue, or you need help besides your broker. I mean, depending on the size of your brokerage, that's for sure, because you might join a brokerage that has 1,000 agents or 500 agents. You'll probably never even ever meet the broker.
Right, and when you do, he's this ornate, person you just meet once or twice. It's not like that. And again, when you're training and you're showing up to live trainings, these trainings can turn into masterminds where you're discussing different things and you're asking questions and you're interacting with the instructor and people to the left and right of you, and you're learning from your peers. That's what this business is about. That's what training in real estate is all about. In sales, it's not read a book and go out and do it like that. It's pulling on all these different pieces from people and creating your personal approach.
Yeah, and so it's the training, it's the mentorship, it's the technology, and then obviously the pay structure. You got to ensure that, when you do a deal, that the pay structure is going to work for you. I think that would kind of be last on the list, I think, when you're new, but, could be important depending on your budget, because I think a lot of people walk into this business and don't understand really what it takes to make it, because
Absolutely.
Right after you join the brokerage, guess what you got to do?
You got to join the board, okay? And some boards are, as little as a couple $100. Ours is somewhere in the $500-$600 range, and
but once you start adding up all the other stuff,
God,
it's like $1,000 or $1,200 or
you
something
better be
like
ready
that.
To spend. You better be ready.
It's expensive.
$2,000 a year.
Yeah,
to be in business.
I don't know if it's that. Well, yeah, amongst other things that you may need to buy for marketing, and we'll get to that. But let's talk about the board and
board. You got to join the board. You want to go to your board orientation. You want to make sure that you're involved in these things and learning from the people. Don't just leave it all on your brokerage to teach you everything. All right. Something I talk about a lot is you're an adult, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think we're adults.
You're an adult, okay? Which means adult learning allows you the ability to pick and choose where you're going to, what you're going to learn. It's like going, in high school, you were a child. You walked into school and you sat down and they taught you these three, reading, math, arithmetic, and writing. In college, you started to pick the things that you wanted to learn. Okay, you picked your primary or whatever that was called. That's what you should be doing here as an adult, learning through the MLS, going on your board calendars every month and finding classes on that the board is offering that are being held by other agents and other professionals in different aspects of the business that become very interesting to you. All right, just because you come into the real estate business as a residential realtor doesn't mean you shouldn't be learning about commercial or learning about different pieces of 1031 exchanges. And that's what you're doing when you're going on and you're taking a look at all these things. Expand yourself. Be a student of the business. right? On top of the board, we have in our area here, we have what's called super keys. All right, some of you guys are still using lock boxes to open houses, but no matter where you are, you need access to your open houses. You need access to show homes to people. Do yourself a favor. Don't be that agent that starts asking agents to meet you at their listings because you have no way to get your client in.
Or you call your broker on Saturday at like noon before you're going to go do your open house and be like, hey, by the way, I don't have my key. Can you open this up for me? Like,
I mean, the other day, I have a nearly $4 million listing. I have a client, I have an agent call me and say, can I show your house, tomorrow at 9 a.m.? I said, of course. And I said, I'll go over, I'll open it all up for you, turn on all the lights, I'll stage it all up. Key is in the lockbox. This guy comes from one of the most technologically advanced brokerages in the South Bay, in California. And he says, oh, okay. And about 15 minutes later, he calls me back, real meek, and says to me, can you leave a key under the mat for me? Because I don't have a super key.
Whoa. That's horrible. How are you going to sell a $4 million? Like, commit to the $20 a month for the super.
What
like, come
business
on.
do you have in this business? If your number one job is to be able to open doors,
that's
right?
What, I mean, we're talking about this, but there's a certain level of commitment that you have to have to yourself. Like,
yes.
You have to pay your board. You have to pay your super. You have to pay for all this little stuff to do this business. Commit to yourself. I think people don't want to commit.
No. So, well, once I sell this, really, once you make $100,000, you'll pay $14 a month to open up another door. So, look, I'm a salesperson. I met him at the house.
You went, oh, well,
now I'm going to meet your client.
Yeah. Now he's like, okay, right, here's a professional.
I opened the door. I'm like, hi, how are you? I'm not trying to steal the client, but I'm just trying to get a feel for who this guy is now. Right? And now the agent's like, oh, thank you so much for meeting us. We appreciate this. I'm like, well, you couldn't open the door yourself. But just think about that. What now, he wrote me an offer, and it did not get accepted.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Okay, because I looked at his offer, and I looked at the other offer that I got, and I said, well, I already know this person's more of a professional. We're at least going to look at this one a little bit more.
He paid the $20 for the Supra.
Yeah, come on. Next thing is CRMLS, or your MLS systems that you use. Okay, and again, they're different all over the country, but in our area, it's called CRMLS. You need to become an expert in two things: filling out forms and mining the MLS for information. Okay, active listings, sold listings, price per square foot, average days on market, average home size. You need to know this stuff. You need to live it every day. Okay, and that is, again, part of our onboarding with all our agents is saying, hey, get into an MLS class. Don't come to me or Amir and start asking me how to run my MLS. I'll show you how to comp properties, and I'll show you how to do things like that. But I'm not going to be the one who's showing you how to log into your MLS and showing you all the basics to it. You need to go to the MLS and learn that, because there is a method to learning this, and it's a lot easier for me to teach in a larger group than teaching everybody individually how to set up their MLS. And I'm not taking it off me, but think about that. As a professional, shouldn't you go learn the ins and outs to that?
Absolutely. Right? And, it's just one of those extra things that you can do. I think a lot of agents don't understand. If they can be experts on how to write the offers and get into the MLS, they're already one step ahead of buyers and sellers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? And if you don't know how to do that, you will not look like a professional. And guess what? There are plenty of other people that do know how to do that.
And here's the scary thing. As an agent, don't be checking Zillow and Redfin for your active listings. Okay, we have a professional site called the MLS that we as realtors have access to. Know what your listings look like, but that is not where you should be searching the MLS for your information.
They just kind of got into a habit of doing that.
Of course.
They don't check the proper systems, but Yeah. So, okay, we'll get into the next thing.
Communication.
Communication. So how would you open up a store or a retail center or any other type of business without a phone or a way that clients could reach you besides walking in? We are in a day and age of technology, cell phones, texting, emailing, social media, all those different platforms. You've got to figure out what phone number one, do you want people to call you on? If you don't care about giving out your cell phone number because you're very public about everything, which in this industry, you have to be very public in sharing your contact information. I love, I see these agents all the time that come in and say, well, yeah, I don't do social media because I don't want people to know this is what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously those agents don't make it. So you have to be vocal about that and have a phone system set up. Whether you don't want to use your one cell phone because you do your other job on that and you want to get another cell phone for that, great. If you want to get a Google Voice, which is pretty much free, you can set that up and get a separate second number associated to your main number and have all your real estate going through that. And I think you have texting capability through a Google Voice and things like that. So it's not a bad deal. You probably want to set up a new email address that's specific for real estate, whether it's your name or I sell homes or John sells homes or whatever it is. Have it set up a new email address specifically just for your real estate, so you're checking that for your MLS, your board subscription, obviously any offers or deals or any communications that you're going to do with your clients. They could all be on that, not on your personal. You can save your personal for all your spam from all the stuff that you buy. So keep a separate account just for that so you don't miss a beat when it comes to emails. Obviously, we're going to get into social media and stuff, and that's another avenue for communication. But you got to understand, you want people to reach you at any time of the day and work on a platform that works for them, whether it's text message, phone call, email, smoke signal, as you like to say.
You need to be reachable.
You need to be reachable. Okay? Don't be a hidden agent or a secret agent. Be a public agent and use all the necessary tools and get set up properly. Dial yourself in.
Now, and now that said, being reachable doesn't mean you have to answer your phone at 9 o'clock at night. Doesn't mean you don't answer your phone at 9 o'clock at night. I had an agent a couple of years ago. She used to call me every night at 10 o'clock. All right, and she said to me one day, well, you have to understand, I'm a night owl.
I've dealt with those before.
I said, okay. Well, guess what, folks? I get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
So I called her at 4:45, and I woke her up.
That's awesome.
And she's like, well, what are you calling me so early for? I said, oh, I'm a morning person. Okay. Guess what? All of a sudden, our conversations started happening somewhere between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, because she got my message loud and clear. You keep calling me while I'm asleep, I'm going to call you while you're asleep. All right, and also for family reasons, there's always a time that you can kind of turn it off. But, again, with the important phone calls, every now and again,
if
it's
you're doing a $4 million deal and your client calls you at 9:30,
take this.
Hold on, I gotta take this. This is a big deal, right?
Because somebody who's buying a $4 million house calling you at 9:30 at night,
they're probably working their ass off,
right?
And to pay for that $4 million
and they need to talk to you. We're going to work with that.
Right.
But it's just communication and your email. You should have your email on your cell phone, iPad. Be able to check it everywhere. Don't sit there and go, oh, well, I didn't get it because I haven't been in front of my computer in the past, 3 days. Don't disappear from people. All right, which brings us to our next topic, which is actually getting yourself in front of people. As much as being reachable, we need to reach people. All right, and the first thing that I have all my agents set up is a contact relation manager system. There's a million of them out there. RealVolve, LionDesk, Top Producer, a number of Google ones, and just Salesforce. What's the one that you use? What
was on Top Producer?
Constant Contact. There's a million of them.
Email blasts. Yeah.
All right, but the bottom line is set one up, and here it is. It's only as good as the information you put into it, and that you use it on. Okay, if you sign up for the $250 a month top producer, bells and whistles gold package, and don't know how to use it, it's garbage.
Pretty much.
Okay, if you sign up for the free system that doesn't cost you a dime and you absolutely crush it and learn every aspect of this thing, it's worth millions to you, millions. Okay, but you have to get in there, you have to use them, you have to put information in. The first place you get information is by setting up a farm. All right, now a farm is a area that you plan to go out and work. Okay, and you plan to go out and actually pull homes and clients out of this farm. Now, what I always tell agents is the best farm that you could have is your local farm.
Okay, yeah, somewhere where you know the area, right?
And
maybe grown up there.
If you have a dog and you walk the dog and you go walking around and stuff and you're there every day, that's a great farm because you have plenty of hay buddies that you're kind of walking around the neighborhood and, hey, yeah, I'm in real estate now. This is what I do. And all of a sudden, that farm can actually become a door knocking activity and place that you're not intimidated of walking around. Right? If you're driving 5 miles, 10 miles to your farm because this is where the money is, okay, you may start getting intimidated or be intimidated by going out and approaching it. If you're not, go for it. I'm not telling you, only farm your neighborhood, but it's the easiest farm that you could set up and say, hey, I'm over here now. This is what I'm doing, okay? But what you really should do is sit down with a title rep, and every state's got title reps, and talk to them about turnover ratio within designated streets and areas and find out what's going on with these areas that you can actually start mining this information, okay? We've all bought things online, or we've looked for things online, and all of a sudden the next day it's showing up in our Facebook feeds, or we're getting emails about it.
That's so weird. I think that's
creepy. Okay. After this, we're going to get video blog posts on our phones. But that said, when people are looking for homes, or when they're looking to find out what their homes are worth, that's also getting categorized. Okay, and your title reps have access to most likely movers. Okay, people who are looking at different things, where you can actually go in and pick a farm of 5,000 people and then get the 200 top most likely movers in the area and start mailing to them, right? Or calling them, or sending them a newsletter or something, door knocking them. Not going in and door knocking going, I hear you're thinking about moving. That's creepy, okay?
That's weird.
But what you can do is be that, oh my God, that's so weird. We were just talking about this. And they're holding a flyer that says, are you interested in moving? Are you interested in buying or selling? Do you know what your home is worth? Okay? That's just very passive, like, hey, I know you're interested, but I can't approach you and say, let's do this. I'm going to send you some information. But you should have a farm set up. You should have a good mail program set up, that you have a couple contact mailers that you just immediately send out if you go door knocking. Maybe 1 or 2 mailers that you follow up with. Hey, it was nice to meet you. Expired letters. Everybody works expireds. Okay, what are you sending to people? And a newsletter, right? Something that you're sending out monthly that you're saying, hey, this is what's going on in the market. This is what's going on in our business, in my brokerage, things to that effect. Be interesting. That's the name of the game in this business. I said it last week. We spend a lot of time alone on our computer mining information to make us interesting people to our clients, right? My investors, my builders, they're interested in what I have to say because I know the areas. And that's part of having a newsletter, putting those things together and really being able to build on it.
I think another part of it is consistency. Because what happens a lot of times as new agents is that we just, do it once and then wait for the phone to ring, and then you may not get anybody to call you, or you might get one person who just had a random question about something or a comment about what you did, and then you give up, right? So I think you have to do this on a monthly basis.
Absolutely,
It's gotta
absolutely.
stay consistent. They keep seeing you, keep seeing your face, keep seeing your name, and they go, okay, I want to sell. This guy seems to know what the area is like. He keeps sending me the comps. Let me give this guy a buzz.
Now, I'll say this kind of tongue in cheek, where it says, don't pay attention to the negative comments, but maybe you should listen to what they're saying. If they're saying things about being unprofessional or things don't look right or anything like that, it's a good idea to look into your stuff and make sure it's quality.
Yeah, I mean, have your broker check it out, make sure it looks okay.
Yes, okay.
And ensure you're following all the rules for your local area or for your state.
Do not go rogue on your broker.
Yes,
Okay.
ensure that
that?
it looks
Does
great.
that work for you?
That works great. That works great. So, but consistency is key. Quality and consistency. Fake it till you make it, and be consistent with it, because eventually stuff is going to happen, but it's going to take time.
Speaking of quality, consistency, things like that, let's talk about where most agents kind of fall off.
This next part is huge, and I think it goes hand in hand. So, you're getting set up and everything. You're doing your farms, and then people are going to go, "Who is this guy? This guy keeps sending me the comps. He's sending me this newsletter. I've never heard of Vance Mizzi or Amir Al-Kayat. Like, let's Google this guy." Because the first thing someone's going to do is they're going to look at your online reputation. They're going to see who are you, where are you from, how many deals you're doing, what do you look like online. And I would say 80% of agents, if you go online and you Google them, you're going to get pretty much zilch or nothing. Their online profiles are not going to have a picture. They're not going to have they're not going to be set up on Zillow. They're not going to be on their agent websites. They're not going to have a website or anything of that nature. So this part is critical, especially in this day and age. So online reputation, I think, is everything. And it first starts with one simple thing, is a headshot. As you guys can see, we have these cool headshots, and I have a few more gray hairs from these days. But it's a good, clean picture. And I may have spent $100 or $200 or whatever it was at the time to get that nice picture done. But that picture has carried me throughout all my marketing materials, all my social media stuff, my business cards, anything I put out there has had that picture, and now it's my brand. People see this picture and they go, "Oh yeah, that's Amir at West Shores."
Now,
right?
That said, you got to change your headshot. I do mine annually, right? Every year. Okay? Not you, but most.
Yeah,
okay.
I got to hit you
Look,
with a headshot.
we don't want you to look like Benjamin Button, where it's like, okay, here's my high school photo, and now I'm 45 years old.
Right, but you're going to do one within reasonable amount of time. Like you're getting your license, you're getting it done. You have a professional headshot.
But you just plan to do them.
Plan to do that every year, 2 years, or whatever. Not every
like I put
3
20
or
pounds
4.
on. I don't want to take a picture anymore.
Right.
Which brings us to the next one, which is videos.
Right, videos. This is something. So obviously, your online has to be set up. You have to have a Facebook business page, Instagram set up for business, LinkedIn set up. Maybe you're doing Twitter. Maybe you're doing TikTok or whatever else we're doing right now. Maybe you're doing a YouTube channel like we are right now. You want to have all of these online systems set up with your cool headshot. But then the next phase is content, posting, putting some videos out there. And this is the part where everybody sucks. Obviously, we're doing this because we want to grow our business and share with you all of this information for free. But, people are going to go online and look you up and look at your videos.
Absolutely.
And at our brokerage, we actually film intro videos for the agents to put on our website, which I highly recommend. You do a 30-second video of yourself and what you can do, or talk about your brokerage, or talk about your guarantee, or whatever it is. But video is the future, right? And if it's not on
they
video,
say it's going to be Facebook is going to be like 90% video in the next 3 years or 2 years.
Right? And so that's where real estate's going. People want to see cool videos of the houses. They want to see what you're doing. It's all about Instagram story. And if it's not happening on social media, it's not happening. But people want to see the live video feed of what's going on. So you have to be totally involved in video. And that's going to take it, I think, the next decade. It's just going to be all about video.
Absolutely. And the idea behind now, number one thing I hear all the time. But Amir, I don't like the way I look on video.
Well, you don't have to like the way you look. You just have to do the video.
Right.
Right.
And my answer to that is, well, you're the only one who's seeing you for the first time on video. Okay, we've been dealing with you the whole time, so
Right.
it's okay. All right, you don't walk into a room and everyone go, "Oh my God, turn around!" Right? Just because you get a little freaked out about seeing yourself on video, get over it. Okay, get over it. And something I started talking about in the beginning of this year is raise your standards. Okay, raise your standards on your headshots, on shooting videos, and get professional about it.
If you have like an iPhone 1 or like a Samsung Boost phone or whatever, just some crappy phone, don't try and take your videos on that and have them come out really bad. Get a camera, get a buddy with a nice, up-to-date iPhone or whatever the case may be, and film something nice. Take a nice picture, because people are looking at that, and that's
Absolutely.
a reflection of you. So make sure the quality is there.
Yeah.
And you know what? Repetition of your videos. If you consistently are doing videos, you're going to get better and better and more comfortable and get to a point where you're like, hey, I'm filming 3 videos a day. In fact, I mean, just today, this is the 3rd or 4th video that I filmed today for my business. So you just kind of get used to it, right? And you get over it.
And you know what? That said, got to be careful about the videos you film, okay? Body shots in Cancun, not exactly real estate ready.
Right.
Okay?
That's the other thing. You gotta tweak your social media output. So if you're, on the beach, doing shots in all of your social media, that's not going to adhere to somebody, looking up, like a family looking you up to say, should we have this guy sell our home, right? He's doing body shots in Cancun. Like, that's not our guy, right? Shane's
and we
laughing.
see this, okay? We're talking because Amir and I
Shane's
look like,
that guy. I looked him up, but I hired him anyway.
But think about that. It's, what are you putting out there? What are you representing yourself on Facebook and on social media channels as? Just total side note, I would urge everybody in the social media world, if you're in sales, real estate, you're in public communications where people are deciding if they're going to do business with you or they're not going to do business with you. In today's world, I would say pull out of the political realm.
Yeah, politics, religion, like any of that stuff. Stay neutral.
Cares.
Stay totally neutral. Like, we don't need to know about what you think about Trump. Like, you either like him or you don't like him, and that's okay, but don't put that on your social media. You might be dealing with a Democrat, you might be dealing with a Republican, you don't want to piss them off, but guess what, they're going to look you up and see who you are and what you stand for. You just want to be totally neutral. No nudes and weird pictures.
No nudes.
And just look very PG and conservative, because this is essentially your resume. Right? This is your resume for your business moving forward. So keep it kosher, people.
Please.
So right.
Agent profiles. Right now you should have something that I talk about a lot in the profiles. You should have a long and a short form bio. Okay.
Yeah, write a bio.
That you write one that's now a long form bio is 2 paragraphs. A short form bio is a few lines.
If you're new, you probably can't write 2 paragraphs.
And things that you don't want to say, you're not excited about being in this business, okay? I'm so excited to be in business. I love architecture. If you're saying that in your bio as a professional, I'm not doing business with you. Okay, but you want to write a bio that talks about your abilities, okay? And the reason I say write the bio is then when you're creating all your social media channels, you can just cut and paste them. And when I go through a social media library of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's got the same flow to it, okay? Normally, our photos, I do like 2 or 3 photos every time I do a session, and I'll use different ones, but in the same thing, that they all look the same. Okay, they're all just maybe a different pose, right? But the idea is your profile should be the same. You shouldn't be sitting down every time you're going to write something, write a bio and start thinking, what am I going to write today? Right? It takes too much work, and half the time what you'll do is say, I can't think of anything. I'll do it later. And when is later?
Never.
So think about that.
So yeah, we talked about social media, the headshots, your profile, your bio. You want to go through all that stuff. You want to create a nice email signature so you're marketing yourself. Every little platform that you can market yourself or make that adjustment, you want to make that adjustment.
Absolutely.
And obviously, setting up all your social channels. We talked about that. So you're dialed in online, and people are looking you up. And now what?
Now it's time to get to work. Okay, what we've been doing is playing real estate. Okay, setting up our bios and doing all this stuff. That's just kind of getting the wheels rolling. The next step and the real, where am I going with this? Remember, you got to run this business like a business, is writing a business plan. Okay, if you want to sell one house this year, or this month, or this week, you should have that written down in a business plan that you're following, that you're saying, hey, I'm going to do, first it starts with goals, and then you lay it into a business plan. But you want to be able to look at your business in January and say, this is what it's going to look like on December 31st. Okay, that also goes into, if you plan on making, probably over $100,000 a year, you want to be incorporated, right? You want to start talking to your accountant about incorporating your business, okay? Running your business like a business and really committing to it, okay? But it starts with the business plan. And from your business plan, there is something very, very, very important to all success born, and it becomes your ideal schedule. What are you going to do day to day, week to week, month to month? How can you break up your time, whether it be between your other job, your family, your friends? How are you going to break that time up and absolutely ensure that enough time goes into this business to create the result that you are looking for? And my coach tells me, and I tell agents all the time, show me your schedule and I'll tell you if you're successful or not.
And I think if it's not on your schedule, it's not happening.
That's right.
So if you got a part-time job or a full-time job or whatever you got going on while you're getting into this business, if you're not saying I'm working my 9 to 5, but from 5 to 8, I'm working on prospecting and marketing and developing business, it's not going to happen. You're going to get done with that 9 to 5, and then you're going to be like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm just going to go have dinner and turn on Netflix. That's what's going to happen. But if it's on your calendar and you go, well, I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to work my 9 to 5, and then from 5 to 9, I'm going to work my real estate business. Yep. I'm going to be making calls from 5 to 7. Then I'm going to be working on my email blasts and my newsletter and sending out my mailers, and I'm going to work all this stuff and setting up my weekend, because maybe you've got an open house, or maybe you're going on listing appointments, or whatever the case may be. Guess what? You're setting up your schedule for success, even if it's part-time. And I think a lot of people don't do that, and they just don't care. They do all the fun stuff. They might do the social media. They might come to a sales meeting. They might come to a couple classes, make some friends, get a free lunch, and then that's it. They're that sometimes agent that is waiting for Aunt May or Cousin Bob to call them to sell their home. And they'll do that one deal, and then they're done.
And usually Aunt May or Cousin Bob is going to call you for a ride to the airport before they call you to sell their home, okay? Your ideal schedule creates that time frame that you say, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. This is my business, okay? Imagine, working at any company USA with no time schedule, with no time to come in, no time to go home, okay? And then expecting to get paid at the end of the week. It almost sounds silly. But we get agents who come into real estate who are like, oh, I came in because for the freedom. I don't want to have a schedule. Well, there's a couple things that you're free to do in real estate, and one of them is to be broke. Okay, because very few people are ever going to pay attention to you if you're not doing any deals. All right? True. And if you're not doing any deals, then, oh, my broker ignores me. Well, why are they going to be talking to you? Okay, and if you turn around and create an ideal schedule, and you're in the office and you're working and you're pounding away, and you go in and talk to your coach or your mentor or your development manager or your broker and say, I did all of this. What else can I do? Now that gives them an opportunity to coach you. All right. And I tell my agents all the time, as a coach, I never want to have to tell you to run faster. Okay, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, these guys were all coached, LeBron, okay? They're all coached by coaches that never have to tell them to run faster, never have to tell them to work harder. They're already working at their peak. Now they can turn to them and say, hey, when you get here, you need to pivot, or you need to change this, or make the fine adjustments that makes a champion, right? And you show your coach your ideal schedule. This is the time that I'm spending on doing this stuff. This is who I'm calling. This is what I'm saying. The next question he's going to do is say, what are you saying? How are you saying it? Okay, let's talk about that, because if you're really calling 100 people a week, if you're really door knocking, if you're following the schedule that you wrote and you're not getting the result that any agent with this schedule would, there's a fix that we can make. And that's where the coaching really gets fun. That's as a coach for other agents, and as my coaches, I expect those results. Okay, and the only way we can do that is by you doing what's needed first. And the ideal schedule will absolutely run your life. We just had a major shakeup a couple hours ago, right? And I looked at my schedule and I was like, man, I have a bunch of stuff I got to add in here, and I already have things scheduled. And for a moment, I felt really stressed out. Like, oh, what am I going to do? I got to move stuff around. Yeah, these are good problems, okay? I can erase it. I can replace it. I can move stuff. I can change things around. Not saying, yeah, don't worry, I got nothing going on for the next 6 days. None of us got to our position because we had nothing going on.
Right. I mean, we just worked until.
And what's the saying? What's the saying? If you want something done, give it to a busy person, right?
Okay.
So follow your schedule, create a schedule, and commit to it. All right. The more you're committed to your schedule, the more you're committed to yourself. That just from seeing agents, I can just say it outright. Anybody who commits to their schedule is committed to their success.
Totally critical. All right, last thing that we're going to talk about. We've been going on forever, but some more marketing pieces that you should do. Obviously, you need to make business cards. That's a must. I like to do it two ways. I'll have a paper business card, then I'll have a copy version on my phone that is saved on there. So if somebody asks for my business card and I don't happen to have one, I can just say, hey, let me text it to you. Mm-hmm. And you can text them a photo of your business card, make it a nice copy of the actual JPEG or whatever. But you got to make your business cards. And hopefully you've done your headshot and you can put a nice picture on that business card. So it serves as a form of like identification when you go into a house, an open house or whatever. You can leave your business card so they can see you are who you are and you're licensed, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Open house signs, yard signs. As soon as you start your business, commit to the business. Order this stuff. You don't want to be doing all this prospecting and marketing all this stuff, and all of a sudden you get a listing and you're scrambling at the last minute to find a sign company that's going to make a sign within 24 hours because you met this client that wants to put their home on the market tomorrow. You need to be prepared. And I get these calls from agents that are like, hey, do you have a sign company that can make me a sign by tomorrow? It's like, no, nobody does that. Nobody works that way. Be prepared and get all that stuff done ahead of time. It's just too much procrastination. So get it all done. Figure out how to do a flyer for your listing. Get yourself some open house signs and or yard signs so that you can go do an open house for somebody else. Because you may not use it for your own listing. You might be doing other.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got a call on Saturday morning. Hey Van, I got an open house this weekend. Do you have signs I can borrow?
I got that same call.
I said, absolutely. You want to put where are you putting my signs?
Yeah,
okay.
I drove past them actually in Palos Verdes.
Did you?
There you go. I saw your name like with a Mizzy group.
Hey, he
and
doesn't
I'm
have a
like,
listing up
okay,
here.
there's Vance is doing an open house. Wow,
but
he's everywhere.
There it is. Exactly. I'm everywhere, and that's the idea. But you want, if you have your signs and you're not using them one week, and some agent comes in and says, oh my God, I don't have any signs. Be willing to lend them out. Here's the best one I got though. Agent calls me the other day and says, I need to borrow your open house signs. I said, okay. And she says, I have a problem where a lot of times I lose one or two signs.
Well, that really makes you want to let
And I'm
her
like,
borrow the sign,
okay, right? And she says, if that happens with your signs, what do you expect me to do? And I said, well, replace them. Oh, okay, I'll talk to somebody else then.
That is so weird.
I'm like, you're insane, all right? That's weird, right? But this is what we deal with every day. This folks, this is your competition, okay?
That is.
So just
be
understand
prepared.
this. Understand. And be prepared. If you order signs, you have business cards, you have your ideal schedule, you are sitting there going, oh, and you are not doing anything. You're making a decision not to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I don't want to work. As opposed to what most people do is say, well, I would work this week, but I don't have my business cards yet. I don't have my open house signs yet.
Well,
Take that excuse away.
Well, imagine like you go into a burger joint and you walk in and you say, I'd like to order a hamburger, please. And they're like, wait, let me go to the store and get ground beef because now you want a burger,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Like, no, you have all the ingredients. They have all the ingredients ready to go so you can order right away. Have all your ingredients. Have everything that you need to be successful in this business. Open up your shop. This is your business. This is a reflection of you and all the hard work you did to get to this point. So take it seriously and commit to yourself and your business and have faith that it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass this shit because you're just going to get...
You said it. Commit to yourself.
Right.
Okay? And the minute you commit to yourself, your friends, your family, the people around you who know you best will have a different respect level for who you are and what you're doing in this business.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't make yourself proud, make your mom proud.
Yeah, do
or
it for mom.
or your spouse or whoever, be proud of what you're doing and take it seriously. And with that, we've been on here for too long, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in to our second episode
Yes.
of Real Estate Agent Rehab. Again, my name is Amir, and this is
My name is Vance. And look, folks, raise your standards. Raise your standards as a business person, as a professional, as an individual, as a person of society. Raise your standards, and you will see your business increase.
Yeah, and commit to yourself. So, all right. Well, if you like what you had to see, please subscribe down below and give us a thumbs up and a like. And we'll be doing these once a week. And we will probably see you on the next episode. And if you do want a copy of this checklist, please, again, go down to the comments below and throw us your email, and we'll go ahead and email this out to you. So until then, have a good one, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Be well, folks. Thank you.